Sounds great. Loud and clear. All right. It's 3 p.m. Check it out. So just a note, next Wednesday, we're going to be coming live here on YouTube next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to bump it back a few hours. I'm actually going to, for our Open Studio members, I'm going to be going live in Zoom every day at 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to broadcast some of these on YouTube, some on Facebook. But if you're an Open Studio member, you can come to Zoom. We did one yesterday that was just killing. It was just so much fun to see everybody and practice with everybody in Zoom. So if you are a member of the Piano Access Pass or the All Access Pass, you can come check out that Zoom meeting and practice with me there. And what is going on? All these beautiful folks. Peter Martin is here. I wonder if Peter's going to be practicing. Probably not. I think he's done his practicing on chromatic scales for the day, I'm sure. There's the dog behind you. Yeah, she just laid down. That's Margo. She's been my dog since I was 25 years old. I'm not 25 anymore, and she's just beautiful. And she's having a hard time walking around and getting up steps and getting down steps, but she's doing great. She's in a great mood. She's over there right now smiling like crazy. She's a beautiful dog. Beautiful personality. Beautiful looking. The full package Margo is. All right. Well, if everybody can hear me, and it's 3:02, let's get practicing. So these are part of our daily guided practice sessions. I do a whole series on openstudiojazz.com for Piano Access Pass members and All Access Pass members, where I lead you through a practice, not unlike a guided meditation or like a Peloton cycling session. So if you have access to a piano or a keyboard where you can hear that and hear me at the same time, we're going to be working with my metronome. We're going to be working with me, and I'm just going to show you some simple things that we're going to practice today. A couple technical things, and then one more leaning towards the jazz side of things, bebop side of things, and the improvisation side of things. So make sure you can hear me, make sure you can hear yourself. And we'll start very simply with something that I love to start every practice routine with. I love rituals when it comes to these practice routines. And for the last couple of years, I've been starting every practice routine with the chromatic scale. And I like to start it at 88 beats per minute symbolically because I love the piano and I'm a nerd. And let's start today with eighth notes. So fairly slowly. Do, 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 do. If you're a more advanced player, this might seem like a slow tempo, but there's a lot of interesting technical hurdles that we can try to overcome even at the slow tempo, even if we're an advanced player. We are going to start our left hand down at C2 and our right hand down at C3. Now we're going to do our 1-3, 1-3, 1-2-3 fingering. What does that mean? That means we're kind of hammer clawing this thing, right? We're going 1-3, 1-3, 1-2-3, 1-3, 1-3, 1-2-3. Anytime there is a white key followed by a black key, that's 1-3, 1-3. And then when there are two white keys in a row, the two times that happens in a scale, it's 1-2-3. Now on your left hand, it's 1-3, 1-3, 2-1-3. Kind of the mirror image of it. It's not a hard fingering at all. It's really based on that 1-3, 1-3, 1-2-3, 1-3, 1-3, 1-2-3. Take a couple seconds right now and just work out that fingering in both hands separately. You're going to find that it's not difficult at all if you've played piano for any amount of time. It's really a very simple fingering, which is why I love it. It's a great gauge of where you are on any given day. Our bodies change every day, and we feel different every day when we get to the piano and we start practicing. So I like to start out with the same thing every day so that I kind of can be like, okay, I'm feeling weird or I'm feeling really fresh and like I'm ready to go. It's going to kind of tell me what I need to know for the rest of my practice routine. Okay. Can everybody hear the click? Let me know if you can hear the click. Very important that you hear the click. We always practice with the click. And we'll start here with eighth notes. And we're going to go 4 octaves, starting on C2 and C3, hands together. We're going to go mezzo forte, quasi legato, kind of connected, not like super connected legato, watery legato, and not staccato at all. There's definitely no space between these notes, but it's just kind of connected, not exaggerated. Let's go 4 octaves. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. The key to this is that every note is the same volume and duration as the note that preceded it. Turn it around. We want both hands striking at the exact same time and exactly with the metronome. Okay, let's sit up straight. Let's make our spinal column completely straight. Let's put our feet flat on the floor so our knees are parallel with the floor. And let's take a big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just one more thing I like to do, put your shoulders up to your ears and let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just let them drop. That just releases all this tension. The first place we usually put tension when we practice is in our shoulders and our neck and our face. So just be mindful of that. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Another goal of this, and everything we do today, is that it's completely relaxed. Relax your wrists right now. We want them firm and in control, but not tense. Relax your face. Our face usually hides tension for us. Let's do it again. 2, 3, and 4, and. Nice and easy, and in complete control. So even if you're an advanced player, there's challenges in this even kind of slow tempo. And one of them is dynamics. Let's try this again, but let's try this piano. This is going to be very soft, but completely confident and in control. I want you to think as we're doing this piano that you're pulling the note out of the bottom of the key bed. All right? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Pull the note out of the bottom of that key bed because it gives us a lot of control. It gets our other fingers out of the way. It lightens our touch quite a bit. We're still perfectly in sync with our hands, and our hands are perfectly in sync with the click. And we're completely relaxed. Relax your wrists right now. Let's do that again. 2, 3, and 4, and. Every note is the same volume as the one that preceded it and the same duration. Relax your face and your neck, as you're probably trying very hard right now. Good. We're pulling those notes out of the bottom. It's more of a thought than anything. It's not as much of a physical thing, but it's a concept, that a visualization that can really help us get our hands and our fingers out of the way of itself. Let's try the same exercise, 4 octaves, quasi-legato, but let's do forte. This needs to be powerful, this needs to be controlled and in time, and this needs to be overall easy and relaxed. Even more so than when we're doing the softer tempos, because we're going to want to tense up and clench our jaws. This needs to feel relaxed. How many great players have you seen live? I mean, world-class players that seem like they're doing nothing when they have this huge sound, right? They're completely relaxed, and that helps get them that big sound. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Pull it out of the bottom of the key bed. Pull the sound out. Relax your shoulders as we do this. Again, 2, 3, and 4, and. Powerful, in control, and easy. Don't let your thumb be louder than your third finger and your second finger. Okay. That's a very important point. Our thumbs tend to be more connected with the weight of our arm and our hand, which is good at jabbing our thumbs in there. They're like little bricks. They can take a lot. And so when we're playing loudly, especially, we tend to heavy that thumb up. Be mindful of that. When you do these exercises, any scale, at a forte volume or louder, make sure that everything is nice and even. That's the only way you're going to get that kind of sound. All right, let's combine all of these dynamics. Let's do a nice gradual crescendo up to the top of the scale, the top of the fourth octave, and then a decrescendo back down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And pull it out of the bottom. This is the ultimate in control. Just a nice, easy gradient up the dynamic range. We're getting into mezzo forte, and now forte. We'll stay there for a little bit. Just every 3 or 4 notes, we're just easing up just a little bit on the way down. Give it a little more. Let's try that again. 2, 3, and 4, and. Nice even gradient. Remember, this is an exercise in concentration, especially for my advanced players here. No mistakes, no flubs. This is our time to attempt to be as perfect as possible so that we can be free and loose on the bandstand. Beautiful. Nice. So the idea there is just a nice even slope up and slope down on the dynamic range. You do not want to like go out too fast to forte or stay piano all the way to the last 4 or 5 notes and then do everything right at the end. We want kind of every 3, 4, 5 notes to just be inching up in the dynamic range. Yes, yes. Okay, let's do one more thing with this chromatic scale before we move on. We're going to stay at 88 beats per minute, but let's do triplets. Dot, 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 dot. Let's go back to mezzo forte, quasi legato, vanilla pudding, white bread, dynamics and articulation. 1, 2, dot, 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 dot. Even though the tempo is increased, stay relaxed. Relax your arm and your elbow. Relax your wrist. Again, 2, triplet, and. Relax your face. Unclench your jaw. If you're like me, that's a known culprit for tension. Same thing, but let's do staccato. A nice break between each note. 2, triplet, and. Really pull it out of the bottom. Pull the sound out. Even break between the notes. The duration should be exactly the same. It should be the same amount of short. And the dynamic level should be the same note to note. Let's do it again. Triplet staccato. 2, triplet, and. We're pulling it out of the bottom of the key bed. may have noticed as I start down here, I'm leaning my body a little more this way. And as I move my way up the keyboard, my torso follows parallel to the keyboard up. Very important that we keep this architecture here, right? Supporting our hands, our wrists, our hands, and our fingers so that they don't have to contort as they go up or down the keyboard. Let's do that one more time, staccato triplets, and think about that. Think about this as being sort of your scaffolding or your crane structure as you're building a building, and it has to move everything, slide along this rail here so that you're in a good position to be up here. Let's try it. 1, 2, triplet, and... Starting to slide. Good. Now, we don't want to be any closer too much or any further away. You want to stay about the same distance, right? So that our elbow, that's part of it, so that our elbow is just out in front of our rib cage here, and that we have a good distance from the piano and we're in good position. All right. That is the end of our warm-up. That's our chromatic warm-up. That's something I like to do every single day at our daily guided practice session at the Piano Access Pass. If you're an Open Studio member, come join us over there. If you're not a member at openstudiojazz.com yet, I'm sure there's links here in the description to get you over there. Follow those over and check this out. Every day we're practicing. Anybody have any questions on this in the chat? Let me know before you do. We're about to get into something called the Phillips exercises. These are a great time-tested exercises for finger independence. I'm actually in the middle of recording a whole guided practice session course on these exercises for finger independence, where we're really getting deep into these. If you do these for more than 2 weeks, you're going to notice a huge improvement, especially in the east side of your hands, as we'll call them. In the pinky region, the fourth, the fifth fingers get much stronger with these. Fingering once more for the chromatic scale. So it's for the right hand, 1 3 1 3 1 2 3 1 3 1 3 1 2. For the left hand, it's 1 3 1 3 2 1 3 1 3 1 3 2 1. Very intuitive fingering, very easy, and you just get into this sort of hammer claw. I'm not really doing that, but this hammer claw motion. It's big muscles. It's a great warm up. Any other questions before we move on? Doesn't seem like it. How's everybody feeling? Is everybody practicing with me? Got your keyboards out? Can hear the metronome? Yeah. Feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good. I've been doing a lot of guided practice sessions today, so I'm feeling like I'm in the zone here with it. All right, let's get to these Phillips exercises. So I don't even need to open my book, but I'm going to show you exactly what this exercise is. Last time I did one of these, I think I did number 1. So I'm going to do number 2 today. And it's very similar to number 1. And it's really, really good for you. So it starts at middle C. And the Phillips exercises are based off of diminished chords, right? So the shape that we're going to make on middle C, each finger gets a key. My thumb is on middle C on the right hand. And then going up, I have E flat, G flat, A, and C. Each finger gets one. So C, E flat, G flat, A natural, and then the octave C. Now the pattern for this is we're going to jump from C to the octave and then down. And then back up. So we jump to C and then down to the E flat and back up. So it sounds like this. Now, the caveat to this, the gotcha moment, is that the thumb stays depressed the entire time. It stays down as we play with the other fingers. Now, the other fingers aren't playing staccato, and they're not staying down. They're just playing nice quasi-legato like what we were just doing, while the thumb remains down. Try that with me right now. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Just keep that thumb down and finger independence with the rest of the fingers. Let's slow it down a little bit. right? If this is your first time doing these, you're already feeling it. And you're already seeing like, oh, these are important. And they are, and they get even more important. That thumb stays down the whole time. Now, our left hand starts on the A just below middle C, and we do the same diminished chord, just a different inversion. So A, G flat, E flat, C, A. And we do the same pattern but mirrored. So it's the same fingers, just on a different hand. Right? We go out the octave and up and back down. All the while, that thumb is being held down. Do this with me. Right? Got to keep that thumb down, and the rest of the hand is playing in a quasi-legato feel. It's pretty great, right? All right, now we combine these two. Let's just loop both hands together and get a good sense of what the exercise is. 3 and 4 and. Keep those thumbs down. Two more times. Last time. Okay, now the entire exercise is more than that. We take this up chromatically, up an octave. Diminished chords the whole way. We go all the way up an octave and then we come back down. So just take a minute now. I'm going to talk and answer some questions. Take a minute now if you need to and just play these shapes of the diminished chords. Right? C to C, A to A. Play them up the octave because that's really an important part, is getting your fingers in the right place. Just take a minute and do that now. I have some questions here. Can you play Jump by Van Halen? Nope. Everybody's cool. Minor scale chromatic makes sense. Nope. Feels great. All good. Yeah. Phillips is awesome. First four exercises are gigantic. True. Okay. Let's give this a shot. I'm going to put this up to 66. These exercises are great. They get harder the faster they get, but somehow, even if they're slow like this, they're still really hard. It's more of a marathon thing. So Colleen comments right here, I think this could cause injury unless you stay relaxed. That is completely true. Like everything else we're doing today, it doesn't count unless you can be completely relaxed and easy with this. If you're getting tense or there's any sharp pains at all, just take a break, take a minute, get a glass of water, go one hand at a time if you have to. Don't push yourself to the point where there's real pain, okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. We'll go up chromatically here. So stay very relaxed. Some of these shapes are harder than others, you're going to notice. The thumbs are locked down to the bottom of the key bed. And the other fingers are completely even, each one playing the same volume and duration as the one before. I'm going to get in better position here. Here we are at the octave. I'm going to turn this around and go back down. Relax your wrists right now, both of them. Feel them relax right under you. Keep those thumbs locked down. Some of these shapes you're going to want to curve your fingers in just a little bit more than the others. Like when your thumbs are on two black keys. Last one, big deep breath. Flare. I love a little flare at the end. All right, let's bump it up to 70. And let's try this again. Shake it out a little bit with me. Shake out your wrists. I like a good shake. Let's put our shoulders back up to our ears. Feel that tension in our shoulders and our neck. And then just 3, 2, 1. Let it go. And just let all that tension go. This is as much of a mental and physical exercise for our body as it is for the piano. Because it can be so physically intense if you haven't spent much time doing it. Let's do this again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Put your feet flat on the floor. Straighten up your spine. Again, relax your face. We have to do this easily, or it doesn't count. Back down. Relax your elbows. Again, we want those controlled but relaxed. Thumbs are locked down. Every other key is in complete control and independent. 2 more. Big deep breath into the last one. Flare. All right. It's a little something there. All right, we're going to do one more tempo on this, and we're going to move on to our bebop exercise. Well, we're going to go a little bit aspirational here for some of you. Let me just make sure that, got it. You said it strengthens the fourth fingers. Do you know why? I said using all fingers, though. So Hugh says, you said it strengthens particularly the 4th and 5th fingers. Do you know why? The exercise is using all fingers, though. Well, Hugh, the reason probably is because we tend to cheat our 4th and 5th fingers when it's up to us. When we have a choice to play anything, especially as improvising musicians, with our first 3 fingers, we tend to take that route first because it's just easier. So doing something like this, if you're an underdeveloped jazz pianist, which I know a lot of people on here probably are, you might be using your 4th and 5th fingers more with this exercise than you will in 3 gigs in a row, to be honest. And the way you use them on the gigs is usually something very comfortable, something that is in your comfort zone. And these just are out of the comfort zone for many pianists. Even in classical literature, there's not many times where you're really holding fingers down and doing a lot with your 4th fingers. I mean, there are as we get into like the bigger repertoire, but in general, this is a weakness for a lot of people. These are weak fingers. Our 4th finger especially is super weak. So anytime we exercise that, we're probably exercising it more than when we just improvise and we have our choice of fingering that we can do. Let's do one more and I'll answer everybody's questions after this. 84. Dot, 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 dot. Quite a bit faster, but this should feel a nice good clip. If we have these shapes in our hands, we're ready to go. Take a big deep breath and relax. Feet on the floor. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Keep those wrists loose. If your thumb is on a black key, consider curling your fingers a little bit. Octave, back down. Thumbs are down at the bottom of the key bed. You can still think about pulling the sound out of the bottom with the other fingers. Very helpful, actually, to think about that, because it helps get them up. And that's a lot of the battle with this, is getting them out of the way. Last one. flair on it. All right. Fun. All right, those are the Phillips exercises. Like I said, I've been recording all week a whole course called Piano Finger Independence, where I'm dealing with 6 of these exercises, and we have 10 different guided practice sessions. And I use a lot of, it's fun because I'm using a lot of sort of runner terminology, 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon, because it really is going to be a course to try to strengthen our fingers and get them independent. So be on the lookout for that in the next few weeks from Open Studio. And let's just check here for any comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you're feeling. Shake it out. Take a big deep breath. Get a glass of water. His fingers really are the most stretched. What do you think the reason for holding down the thumb? I think that just activating these muscles here and then having to be independent here. We usually rely on our hand motion and maybe wrist to activate, especially down here. And so if this is locked down and can't do much, it forces us to really get those fingers working. I think that's exactly what's going on there. Matt says, this is excellent. I feel this is really going to help. It's going to help a lot. Have you tried the Pishna book? It's been a few years, but I need to get back into those. Maybe I'll add those to our daily guided practice routines. I'm guessing the thumbing down is attention to the rest of the finger. Yeah, exactly. Left hand can be more difficult, especially if you haven't had this trained up at all. Continued practice will help, Nelson. Yes, exactly. Patrick says, are you doing this regularly? So I'm doing this on YouTube every Wednesday, but I'm doing these every day at Open Studio. You can go to openstudiojazz.com, check out the Piano Access Pass, and I do a daily guided practice session literally 7 days a week. Starting next week, I'm going to start doing Zoom meetings where you can get on with me and we can kind of communicate a little more. All right, let's move on because I have one more thing that I want to do, and I only have till about 3:45-ish that I have to be on here. So I want to do this Bebop lick. We've been doing this all week in the daily guided practice session. It's a super useful lick. It's from language borrowed from a few different Bebop masters, but I put it into 1-2-5-1 lick, and we'll start with it in B flat. Right, so we're going to do a 2-5-1-6 in B flat, C minor 7, F7. B flat major 7. And the lick sounds like this. Right? Now, a lot of people have been saying, hey, is there a PDF for this? There is, but you don't get it because I'm insistent with this particular exercise that we are going to learn this together by ear. It's not that hard. It's not that long. It's essentially, it's 2 bars, 3 bars. It's not very long. And the lick itself, the language is so quintessential bebop and fundamental to jazz improvisation that you should have these segments of these licks memorized anyway and just part of any kind of general language. It's good for you to use your ear to get these. So we're going to use our ear to get this. Let's start with the first bar. These are all 8th notes. I'm going to play the whole thing a couple times so you can hear it. Just listen. More time slowly. Again, 2, 5, 1. If you're already trying to figure it out by ear, good on you. That's what you should be doing. But let's break it down a little bit. So over our C minor 7, we start on F. Just play that. The first phrase. Let's continue those first 2 beats. First bar. That's the first bar. Play that with me. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and yeah, this is just a little bebop lick that we're learning by ear right now. So, and 4, and there is no sheet music. We're going to learn this by ear. 3 and 4, and this is C minor 7. We're in the key of B flat. We start on F. 3 and 4, and play it with me. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Yes, you can replay this video afterwards, but play with me now. 3 and 4 and 2. Let's go on. Right? So that second bar, I'm just going to loop that. See if you can get this by ear. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. See if you can get this by ear. This is an ear training exercise more than anything. Everybody got that? So let's do what we have so far, starting on that 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. 1, 2, again, and 4 and. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. One more time. 2, 3, and 4 and. All right, let's do it again, and I'm going to go on. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. So I'll just loop that B flat major 7 bar. 2, 3, and 4 and. Halftime. One more time. Right, so key of B flat, we're doing a 2, 5, 1 in the key of B flat. I'll do this whole lick halftime for you all real quick. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Real time. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Play it with me. Use your ear. Seems like everybody's having a little trouble with the second bar. So I'll just do over that F7, right? The second bar. 2, 3, and 4, and. 1, 2, halftime, and. One, 2, 3, and 4, and. One, 2, you got it, 3 and 4 and. One, 2, 3 and 4 and. All right, whole thing again, real time. 2, 3 and 4 and. There's a little flare. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. For the voicings I'm doing, I'm just doing root and shell. Literally just root and third and 7 for each chord. C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, 3 and 4 and. Yeah, I can't help it. Put a little turn in there. 2, 3 and 4 and. This. It's fun. All right. Let's swing it. We're going to take up the tempo just a little bit. This is beats 2 and 4 here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. 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 2 more times. 2, 3, and. All right. So that's the lick. That's the bebop lick. Now there are about 4 licks in this lick. The point that I want to really get across here is this isn't something that you learn and then you just put in by rote, insert the lick into said 2-5-1. There are many parts of this lick, and each part could be its own segment of language for you. Just that alone, right? That first phrase there can be over C minor. It could be over an E flat major 7. I mean, everything on here, that middle thing, the end could be for G minor. You know, any kind of relative minor for any of these will work, or relative major for any of these sections will work really well, and they'll work with other parts of the language. So what I want to do to finish up this lesson is, and then I'll take some questions at the end. We'll do a little Q&A at the end. But to finish this up, what I want to do is I'm going to play a bass line, and we'll have the click here as our hi-hat, as our 2 and 4. And I want you to start by playing the lick in its entirety, in whole. And then I want you to start singing it in your head as you're playing it, and then start subtracting what you play. So it might be... just taking notes out if you can. That's a really good first practice. And then I want you to eventually devolve into your improvising with your own language over 2-5-1 and B flat. And then you're throwing in parts of the lick. So it could be like... using segments, using little cells of this lick is how I think a lot of jazz musicians take the language that they transcribe and that they learn by ear, and then we just apply it to our own language, to our own set of musical poetry that we like to use in our own improvisation. So I want you to practice that as we are learning this lick. It's not just about just reciting it, you know, over any 2-5-1. I mean, that's good to be able to do that for sure, and it's good to be able to hear it and transpose it, but we really want to internalize the intricacies of this lick. Let's try it real quick, and then I'll take some questions at the end, okay? I'm just going to play a bass line. We're going to do a 2-5-1 and B flat. That's C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, and then I'll probably do like a G7 in between. And then, like I said, start out by playing the lick, and then start by segmenting it out, and then start inserting your own language in it and trying to bring the lick in segments. All right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... 2 more times. Really start improvising and inserting the lick. Last time. Here we go. Nice. Well, I hope you found that helpful. We're going to keep this video up on YouTube so you can come check this out and play along with that. Play along anytime you want. It's just a 2-5-1. You can also just accompany yourself with some basic root and shell voicings. And I hope you enjoyed the style of this. You know, we're doing this every day over at openstudiojazz.com. So if you want to practice with me every day, go check out the Piano Access Pass over there, openstudiojazz.com. Anybody have any questions at all? Can I ask a question here? It's about altered lines over the dominant. Yeah, ask away. Any questions? I'm going to jump off here at about 4 p.m. Central Time, so 5 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time. So I got about 12 minutes left before I got a split. So I will answer any questions you have here. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thanks for practicing with me. You know, I really do believe that as we have this time where we're sheltering at home and we're really concentrating on what's important to us. I think the work that we're putting in right now to get better at our music, at our art is super important. And the world is going to need artists when everything starts to open up. And so what you did today was important. Let's see here. What are ultra hyper modes? No idea. How do you deal with days when you feel unmotivated, mentally unfocused in your practice? That's a great question. So those are the days that I think are the hardest to practice. When you feel like there's so much to practice, those are easy days because you can really just whittle it down to what's important. And I talk about that all the time, putting priorities. But the days that you feel unfocused or unmotivated can be rough. And it's possible that you just need a break. That could just be your body's way of letting you know that maybe you're trying to do too much or that you're just not in that space. I think it's okay to go for a walk instead of to practice the piano every day. I mean, you don't want to miss more than 2 days, of course. You want to try to practice as much as possible and stay connected to the instrument every day. That's a philosophy I truly believe in, that daily connection to this is important for maintaining a high level of being able to speak through it. But I think if you are feeling, if you're have a random day where you kind of feel unfocused and unmotivated, like, don't beat yourself up about that. Don't compare yourself to what someone told you Wayne Shorter practiced like or something like that. Go take a walk. Go take an hour-long walk. Clear your head. Go listen to music. That always inspires me. I can barely make it through a really great record without wanting to jump over the piano and try to figure out something. So if you're feeling uninspired or unmotivated, listen to someone that you absolutely love listening to. Go outside, get in nature. Don't go around other people right now, but go get some exercise, something like that, and then come back the next day. Now, if it's chronic, I don't feel like practicing, I'm unmotivated. That could be just something deeper with your relationship to the instrument or to music. And I'm only qualified at helping with that part of it. But if it's just like you have a day here and there where you're just not feeling it, everybody has those days. And what we usually do to get it past that is A, listen to music, and then B, clear your head any way you know how, in a healthy way. Mostly with exercise for me works really, really great. Let's see here. Just want to make sure. Getting all this in. Thanks so much. Thank you, everybody. What time of day are you going to do this? So next week, I'm going to do every day at 1 p.m. Eastern. Here, I'll be on YouTube on Wednesday next week at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll be every day on Open Studio Jazz at 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Just going through here. Thank you, everybody, for the love. Any advices to get faster runs? So speed comes with accuracy. That's a cliche, but it's true. So there's a couple things that you want to do. You want to practice very slowly the runs that you, quote unquote, runs. You want to be comfortable in all the modes, like all the scales that you might have to play in, including things like the diminished scale, in the altered scale. You want to practice in thirds and in triads, and you want to be very comfortable at slow tempos. And then occasionally you want to practice letting it fly, just playing super fast, like faster than you would ever play in front of another person, but just feeling yourself do that. I really think this is key. It's like the child's brain, right? A lot of kids, they especially if they're learning piano and they're getting really good, they want to play fast and they just want to play fast. I think we mature out of that, and that's good for the most part, but I do think some of that is okay, and it actually pushes us forward. When we hear that we can play things fast, we're like, oh, I can play things fast. In Herbie Hancock's autobiography, I think it was, who was it? Donald Byrd? It was someone, he was having a hard time with fast tempos. Herbie was, when he was in his early 20s. And I think it was Cherokee or something that was called at like 350, and he couldn't do it. And someone told him, write out an improvised, write out a solo, a chorus, and just learn how to play it really fast by memory, right? Like it was a classical piece. Because when you hear yourself play fast, you believe you can do it. And I think there's something to that. I've done that a couple times, and each time it just frees me up to want to play fast. So I do think a lot of slow practice, because we don't internalize those scales and modes without slow practice, but occasionally let it rip. What do you think improved the most in your musical career? What do you attribute to it? So for sure, when we're young and when we're new at this, we just want so much information, right? We just want to acquire information. And I think as we get older, we get better at realizing that all that information, it helps us because it builds this language for us. But the real trick, the people who are really doing it, the heroes that we have, they're playing their personalities. They're playing who they are. And it's so close to who they are. And it's so direct from their heart, And as you get older, you get better at recognizing what parts of your playing, what parts of your life, need to shift to that mindset. And so as I've gotten more experienced and better, I like to think that I've gotten better at that I've improved the most of that. I've been able to play as fast as I'm playing now since I was, a teenager. Like that increases in just very small increments once you get to a certain point. There's only so much physically I can do with the muscles and levers that I have here, but the way that I've gone about it has been better. These licks, should I practice recognizing shapes, scale, or pretty notes? All three. Shapes are super important. The scale and how it relates to the chord that you're playing, super important. And the pretty notes. Why does that sound so good? Well, because it's an 11. It's a really pretty note over a C minor 7, that F. Great. If you wouldn't have given the lesson, I would have stayed on my couch. Get off your couch, Patrice. Let's do this. What's up, Mr. Spaceman? Join the lesson. Cool. Thanks, Colleen. Good to see you in here. Yeah, Spaceman. Good to see you in here. All right. Why do you accent the last eighth of the triplet? Why do you accent the last eighth of the triplet when practicing slow? I think I'm just phrasing how I'm hearing it. I don't know if there's a wrong or right to that. That's just kind of that's my inflection and cadence, I suppose. All right, that looks to be about it. Thank you, everybody, for practicing with me. Super important what we did here today. Look for me here next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be doing one of these. If you're an Open Studio member, you can go to the daily guided practice session on your dashboard. And I'm doing one of these every single day next week in Zoom at 1 p.m. Eastern. And until next time, happy practicing.